Good morning, everyone. It's finally Friday. It is Friday morning. It's time to rise and shine and give God the glory, glory. Rise and shine and give God the glory, glory. Rise and shine and give God the glory, glory, children of the Lord. Good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Vicky. It is so good to be together. Toby, my brother. Cherie, it is great to be alive. And brother, God has more for us to do. Morning, Linda. That's why he woke us up. And so I pray that you have a good Friday today and enjoy, for some of y'all, your last day of work for the week before heading into the Saturday, Sunday weekend. Um, but hopefully more people will come on. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Mitzi. So today we're talking about quarreling and fighting. James chapter 4, verses 1 and 2. And of course, when we think of quarreling and fighting, you parents, your kids quarrel and fight all the time. That's just what siblings do. My brother and I, growing up, man, we fought. Oh, goodness gracious. And half the time we have no idea what we're fighting about, right? I wanted this, or sometimes fight over chores and who's got what duty, and it's just frustrating. But I remember one fight. Goodness gracious. Again, I have no idea what we fought about. But apparently it got so heated. Good morning, Billy. It got so heated, my brother took a broom and he threw it at me like a spear. And I ducked, and that thing went right into the wall. Doop, just stuck there. We like looked at each other. Oh my goodness. We pulled the broom out of the wall, left a perfect hole. Perfect hole. Now we're scared. What are we going to do? Our parents were gone. Stepmom was working. Dad was working. And man, we were scared. Well, then I remembered, Pepsodine toothpaste. Remember that toothpaste? It's just chalky white. So we grabbed some newspaper. We stuffed the hole. Good morning, Marlies. Marissa, excuse me. Good morning, Marissa. Good to have you on here, darling. We got some white toothpaste and some newspaper, stuffed the hole and spackled that hole perfectly. Perfectly. Parents got home. No one said a word. Years go by. I'm talking years. And when I was in my senior year of high school, my brother was gone. He moved out. And my stepmother walks into the dining room and stops and looks back and sees this um, off-colored spot on the wall and notices it's the perfect hole. And she asked me where it come from. And I told her what happened. And she just kind of shook her head. But quarrels and fights, they rise up. And it's just crazy. When it's all done, we think to ourselves, why in the world are we fighting in the first place? You know? It's crazy. Well, here's why it happens. Of course, James is talking to Christians here. What causes quarrels and fights among you? Is it not that your passions are at war within you? You desire, you do not have, so you murder. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and you quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask. It all boils down to self. And unfortunately, as Christians, we aren't perfect. Because of this, we tend to fight. We tend to argue on a seemingly daily basis, many times stupid things, right? Those who don't want anything to do with the church will bring this up and rub it in our faces. And you call yourself Christian, you're fighting all the time. They have a hard time seeing Jesus or the church as loving when the people who are part of that church are fighting all the time, not getting along. It leaves a scar, right? A mar on the Christian faith. We aren't known by our love as Jesus said we should be when we're quarreling and fighting all the time. We should each read James 4, 1 through 2, humbly to see why in the world we're fighting. The reason we fight is because of the warring passions within ourselves. It is our desire that It is our desires that are causing the problems. It boils down to an identity problem, right? It's all about me, all about I. Instead of blaming somebody else for starting the fight, look inside yourself and see if it is you who is really the problem. It can be hard to admit our pridefulness. It isn't easy for anyone to do such a thing. If we do this more, though, the fighting will kind of subside. The worrying will stop about ourselves and all that we want, and our love for each other will grow more, and we'll become more true disciples. you Again, we kind of expect fighting amongst siblings. Sometimes spouses will have arguments and fight. Sometimes politicians they fight, right? And it all boils down to this identity issue: self, myself, I, selfish motives. I want this, I want that. And we see it young, right? In little kids, 1 and 2 years old, fighting over a toy. It's mine. No, it's mine. It's crazy, but it happens. And even we as Christians have this issue as well. But we need to be more mature. We need to understand that it's not about ourselves. It's not about I. It's all about Christ and making him look good, right? Him shining through us. So if you're in a quarrel with somebody, maybe you need to go and eat a piece of humble pie and just go and talk to him. Say, listen, I'm sorry. And maybe you don't even remember what you're fighting about. Go take care of it. Be the bigger person and stop quarreling and fighting, especially in the church.